have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Hi, it's Dave here. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile, the podcast where we walk home from the movies. Today we're going to go see Toy Story 5. It's the newest Pixar film and obviously the fifth in the very long-running Toy Story franchise. Kathy, how are you feeling about this?
A 30-year saga. I'm feeling good. I mean, I like to see movies with the kids. It's an event movie for them. Like, I think it's interesting to listen to them. This morning we were talking about it. They were saying that, like, they know what day and time and what cinema their various friends are going to see Toy Story this weekend.
Oh,
so
really?
they've obviously all been chatting about it at school, so I love that for them. I think that's really cool. I think culturally it's a really interesting one. A lot of people have been saying with this Toy Story 5 that, like, you know, as a character, many of us have moved from being like Andy to Andy's parents in like the arc of
Yeah.
Toy Story, because many of us would have seen it as a kid and now have young kids. So in that sense, I'm happy to see
Andy's
it.
parents aren't even in it anymore.
Well, yeah,
I know
but you know what I mean.
The parents,
now
yeah.
you'd identify with Andy's mom or whatever.
Yeah.
So culturally, it's really interesting. Like, in terms of the franchise itself, like, I never really saw Toy Story as a kid. I don't know why, but I've seen them all over the years. Like, I know a lot of people say they should have ended on the trilogy. I always enjoyed them. We actually reviewed the first ever Toy Story over on our Friends podcast, the 90 Minutes or Less podcast festival. We reviewed the first ever Toy Story, which turns out is actually quite freaky when you go back and watch it now, because the animation is so
It was horrifying.
dated. It's like a horror film.
Go back and look at Toy Story. Just Google it. Just take out your phone now and Google some stills from it. Particularly Sid the neighbour. It's horrifying
it's
stuff.
really
but it was
horrifying.
cutting edge at the time.
It was cutting edge,
groundbreaking. I
and it
remember
was-
seeing it and being like, wow.
And the characters are so iconic, you know. So yeah, I'm excited to see with the kids. Personally, like, if I didn't have kids, would I go and see it? No.
I would.
Would you? Yeah.
I saw Toy Story 4 without kids. Saw it with Sam Clements from the 90 Minutes or Less Film podcast. On here you can scroll back and see it, and we both enjoyed it. It was a good time. There hasn't been a bad Toy Story movie, and I don't think
I mean,
there ever will be.
They're not going to make a bad movie. I don't know. I'm just not really bothered about it, to be honest. But I'm also really happy to go with the kids. So that's my vibe.
This is one of those things, though, that I think we're maybe a little bit older. I was 11 seeing Toy Story. I think there are people just a little bit younger than us who this was their childhood, right? The first few Toy Stories. You know, if you're in your sort of early to mid 30s, maybe now, like, so that there's a whole like younger millennials than us who this is the most important franchise in their life.
But
They've
also,
grown up with it. You know?
but it's not even that, though, because it's also kids who would have seen their first film might have been Toy Story 2 or Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 4.
Yeah, for sure.
So generationally, it's just got this huge audience, right? It was such a big deal at the time as well to have Tom Hanks and what's his Home Improvement? What's his name?
Yeah, what's his
Tim
Home
Allen.
Improvement? Tim Allen.
It was such a big deal to have them at the time. So anyway, listen, we're going to go in and see it now. Bring the kids in, and we'll be back to let you know what we thought of it.
See you shortly.
Bonnie, there's a package for you.
Oh, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play.
Oh, extinction! Not again!
Bonnie, screen time's over now.
Okay.
I want to talk to you, Device.
Please, call me Lily.
Me and the toys have been working all summer to try and get Bonnie to make friends.
Yeah.
But then you had to ruin
Got it.
You're not even listening to me.
I'm always listening. See?
Now look here, me and the toys have been working all summer.
Now in Spanish.
Con los gemelos Jordan, al otro lado del
What?
Yeah, I got dibs on behind the dresser.
Woody! Jesse, hello?
Is it as bad out there for toys as they say it is?
We're finding more abandoned toys each day.
We're down!
Tex invaded our house, too.
I don't know, Jesse. Toys are for play, but tech is for everything.
I'm losing Bonnie to this device.
You got a friend in Woody!
Came here as fast as I could.
Why are you wearing a dress, Woody?
It's called a poncho, Forky.
Someone needs a brown marker.
Okay, hi, we're back. We have seen Toy Story 5, and if it's your first time here at the cinema, we won't spoil the movie until we get to Spoiler Street. Kathy, what do you think?
So I love the idea, and I hadn't really paid attention to the trailers properly for this. I'd seen the poster with the iPad, but I love the idea.
Lily pad. Excuse me, you want to get sued?
Sorry. I had seen the poster with the unnamed pad device. And
It's not unnamed, it's Lily pad.
Lily pad, fine. And I really like that as an idea because, of course, what is the big evolution happening with children and playing, and it is technology and screens. And I think it was brilliant for them to address it in this film. So I'm really on board with the story, and like obviously it is a sad thing to look around the world and see children looking like zombies into screens, and I think this film capturing that is really cool, and I think makes the film still feel relevant, right? Because this franchise could start feeling irrelevant. So I think that was really good. I like the character. We had her last film as well, didn't we? The main character. I like her.
Bonnie?
Bonnie,
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
No,
like,
Bonnie's actually been around since Toy Story 3.
oh, okay. And I'm like happy to be back with all the characters, right? Like, as I say, I've seen all the films. Do I remember them all? No. The kids had a really good time. So most importantly, both of the kids said they loved it. They just really enjoyed it. And the cinema was packed. And like, that's lovely to see. And I absolutely love like an event family movie. And we went on a Friday afternoon. I was probably a little bit bored maybe for some of the film. It didn't maybe capture my attention.
Yeah, because you fell asleep.
I also fell asleep, yes, for a brief period. So take anything I'm saying with a pinch of salt because I missed like 25 minutes of the film.
You didn't miss much.
I like the overall message. We'll get to it in Spoiler Street. I enjoyed like the characters and seeing them again. There's just way too many characters in it though. And I feel like maybe the magic of like Toy Story 2 and 3 isn't there for me anymore. Really like the Taylor Swift song in the end credits. I think it's cool she did that. And I'm just happy that like kids are enjoying it and families are enjoying it. So overall I'm positive, even though I found it a little bit dull. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this is, for me, I think this is the weakest Toy Story. I felt just a little sad. It never came to life. It felt very flat. This felt very like creaky. I felt like it just felt like they were trying to recapture the magic of how we used to feel in Toy Stories 1, 2 and 3. Already 4 was a little bit of a stretch, but at least I felt like 4 had a bit of momentum and charm, and it was doing something different. They were out and about, and then they had Forky, who was one of my favorite characters.
Forky sidelined
in this, but just Toy Story 4 was tackling some incredibly strange existential things, like Bonnie created life and consciousness, and I mean, and then just the dynamic, the buddy duo of Forky and Woody as this kind of like creature coming into the world and this gaining awareness and its sense of place felt very reminiscent of the Woody-Buzz relationship in season 1. And we'll go into it in spoilers, but there's no real through line in Toy Story 5 of a sort of a plot and a character. Jessie comes sort of, I would say she's the protagonist of this movie and the sort of emotional arc. And it does dip back into Toy Story 2's kind of emotional thread with Jessie and Emily, and you know it did pull on my heartstrings a little bit at moments.
It did, yeah.
But I don't know, but it never got there, and I feel like it's, again, we'll talk about it more in Spoiler Street, but I think it is good to see Toy Story over its 30 years addressing societal changes. Very full on. I mean, it's not in a subtle way, but I think arguably, you know, many parents probably need to receive this message and this wake-up call, and ultimately the movie is advocating for imaginative play and creativity, and don't forget about toys. You know, toys are under existential threat, is what the movie's kind of saying.
And what
But
I like
feel,
is that it's also addressing that message to kids, because I feel like
yes, yeah,
there can be a lot of, like, parents know that they shouldn't have their screens on, kids shouldn't be on screens all the time, and parents, many, just ignore that. That they shouldn't have their kids on screens like 8 hours a day. Smartphone bans and, you know, things like that in the news can be very divisive language and make nearly feel like kids feel like they're being told off or they've done something wrong for just accessing services that their parents are letting them access. Whereas I like that this is kind of speaking to children and saying to children, you know, isn't it fun when you actually play with your friends and you're not just looking at a screen? And it was interesting when we came out afterwards and I said to the boys, like, what did you think about the iPad toy? And Oscar said, yeah, I think, like, I liked it, but I think I think the girl shouldn't have been playing with it all the time. She should have been playing with toys too. And I was like, that's a great message if a kid can take that away from a film.
Yeah.
So I think actually to speak to sometimes bypass parents who are maybe misusing technology and like getting it through the kids that way is maybe a good thing. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like that message at kids?
I would like to talk about this more in Spoiler Street.
Yeah, let's go to spoilers
ultimately,
level.
I think that the message is a little muddled and confused and not particularly coherent. And so I don't know. I came away from this feeling honestly disappointed. I think the movie is a real mishmash of stuff, and I couldn't feel invested personally. And I think to your point, there are so many. After 5 films now, there's this whole array of supporting characters in Toy Story that literally get put in a box and disappear for this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's too many characters to work with. And I just kept seeing all my old favourites, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so what the movie has to do then is introduce more characters. Who,
Sorry,
and I didn't
feel like
really.
Woody was written out before, and now he's back again.
Woody and Buzz have an irrelevant side plot here that felt really forced.
It's like they can't make a Toy Story without them, but
Yeah.
what do they do when they don't really fit in the plot?
So I really wish they'd just doubled down and given Jessie the entire movie instead of having this Woody and Buzz plot. Like the movie wasn't confident enough to not have Woody and Buzz. But then
Or else just make them the leads. If that's what you want to do, just make them the leads. I think we should go to spoilers though. But
yeah.
overall, do you recommend it as a family film? Bring your kids.
Doesn't matter. Everyone's going to go see it. It's going to
Yeah,
make
but
$1 billion. Do I? Yes. No. It's Toy Story 5. You have to go see it. But I don't think. I'm confidently saying I think this is the weakest one, and by a long shot.
See, I can't confidently say that because I don't remember the other ones
Okay.
enough. I think 1 is actually quite weak though, from when we went back and watched it again.
Yeah, but 1 deserves the context with which it came out. And it was
Exactly.
revolutionary. And also, you're forgetting that 1 is incredibly
Great story.
strong story.
Yeah, it's
like
just
between
visuals.
Woody and Buzz and the dynamic of their dynamic.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking. Whereas now it's quite boring to look at. Really, there's nothing in the film that I found visually interesting, like at all.
Yeah, I
a
think
bit flat
it's
looking.
really creaky now. This franchise, I think it's starting to. I think we're one movie away from it the wheels coming off.
I just love though. I think it's been a great year for cinema. There's been a lot of big films across genres, and to see now this huge big family film, I'm really pleased about it. You know, keeping that habit for people bringing the kids to the cinema, and like the fact that we all know what's going to be out on Disney Plus in about 2 months, but the fact that the cinema was still rammed today, 3 p.m. screening, 3:30 screening, like real family times, totally full. To me, that's amazing that people are still like, you know what, like in a cost of living crisis, it's really expensive. It will be on Disney Plus in a couple of months, and we're still going to bring our kids because it means a lot to the parents.
That's true.
Even if it doesn't mean a lot to the kids, and that's why I like that this has been running as a 30-year series, and I think that's like very unique. So it's quite cool. Right, we'll go to spoilers, okay?
Okay, so you might hear a quick ad, and then when we back, we do spoilers. Okay, so we're going to spoil Toy Story 5 now, and potentially Toy Stories 1 to 5, I guess, maybe. Even though Kathy's not capable of doing that.
I couldn't if I tried.
Kathy, movies go in one eye and out the other. With Kathy, you
But I do
won't
say-
remember this 2 weeks from now.
We did say that like Forky was sidelined, and he was. However, there is, for anyone who hasn't seen it, there's a whole load of Forky shorts on Disney Plus that we've really enjoyed watching with the
Yeah,
kids.
Forky
they,
asks questions.
Yeah, they copped like how great Forky was, and so if you do go on Disney Plus, there's a lot more Forky content you might be craving. I saw somebody writing online, I think on Blue Sky, saying, how weird is this that if one of the toys died, the kid wouldn't know the difference, and then the kid would just be playing with a corpse.
But they can't die,
Yeah, but it's just a funny thought.
I guess.
Obviously they can't die, they're toys, but like,
Yeah, how would they die?
I thought that was funny.
Okay. Right, so I think, where do you want to start on this? I felt like, okay, firstly, thought the film wasn't funny.
Yeah, and you know what? There was no crack in the audience from the kids.
Yeah, our kids weren't like laughing.
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing, and I
Remember,
think
what
that
was
is.
the Pixar we saw earlier this year, and the kids were buzzing for it. About the kind of nature one with the little girl.
Oh, that Hoppers.
Hoppers.
That's a Disney, not Pixar. I believe.
Sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry,
Honest,
I
I
don't know.
swear to
Who
God,
knows the difference?
who knows the difference anymore? But Hoppers.
Or maybe it was Pixar.
The kids were buzzing for that one in the cinema. This one had. Kids were all, I think, excited at the start and going, "Ooh, Woody" and stuff. But after that, they really piped down. Didn't
Sorry,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I looked over a few times, and our youngest Elliot had his legs in the air and his back down and was looking at the ceiling.
Oh God, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So, but now, he came out and we asked him, "Did you enjoy it?" He said, "I loved it. It's my favorite movie." But,
He says
but I
that
think he'll
kind
say
of
that
as
no
a-
matter what he saw. So, but there were physical.
He didn't say I was bored.
There were physical signs of like didn't keep his attention, and I think the Toy Story films have been consistently funny and introduce very funny characters. When you go back to like Michael Keaton's Ken. And
I forgot about him. That was so
Comeback
good.
Carl and
Courtney.
even Key and Peele's cuddly teddies from the fair in Toy Story 4 who make a brief appearance here. And Keanu Reeves is Kit Kaboom, right? Like, another brief appearance here. Like, I was just reminded of all these really funny, novel characters.
This is where, because like they've decided to go down, like, it is a more serious route with the iPad thing, and like the damage technology can be doing to children's development and play and socializing. In fairness to them, it's a bit of a swing, because you go from a cutesy Forky character to like an iPad. And I just really admire them for doing that, because they could have not gone down this road and just brought out another funny character. And I think, to the film's credit, they're willing to do something that's kind of a little bit preachy, but like it's very rare that like mass media will be consumed like this by kids and families, and it's really good to have a topic like this, because like afterwards we were able to ask the kids, like, what do you think? Should the girl have been on her iPad that much? What did you think about when those girls sent her mean messages and she was upset? Do you think that people should send mean messages? And they were like, no. And it's a very basic way for us to have a conversation with our kids that we've never had before, because they don't have access to technology, so we've not needed to. And like, they're just too young. Obviously for teenage audiences, that will hit very differently for them, but it might also open up conversation, because teenagers will also watch it because it's Toy Story.
I agree. The film should be commended for tackling the topic, and it does present to us the negative side of technology and kids. You know, as you say, it has very clear depictions of cyberbullying and
like, she's
sort
on
of
a social
isolation
media,
and
she's on some form of social media.
Yeah. But I don't know where. Like, I don't know where. I think the film got confused towards the end, or it tried to present a sort of a balanced perspective, because by the end, like the movie's resolution is, do you know what's it really trying to say? And I'm asking you, Kathy, like, because it's trying to say to me, like, technology is dangerous. We're forgetting about toys. It's not real. It's not how you make real connections. But actually, maybe it is. And maybe a little bit of technology is okay. And actually, technology itself is just trying, like Lilypad, if you take her as the embodiment of technology, then she's actually really trying to connect people. And just like social media does, it's well-intentioned. No, it's trying to connect people, but but it's mistakenly, it all the negative effects aren't technology's fault. It's like,
I don't think it's ascribing fault. I think what the film is saying is that like technology and play and real world interactions can live side by side. And in fairness, the film has to say that, because that's the world we live in.
Yeah,
like, if the film came out at the end and was like, bin the iPad,
well, it's not
and
realistic.
only play with
yeah,
toys.
I know, I get it.
But that's not going to happen. So, and that's not the world we live in. And like, there's a lot of uses of technology for children, like whether it's like learning, kids have additional needs, you're on like a 10-hour airplane, you need your kids to like settle down. Like, there's a ton of reasons for kids to engage with technology. So I think if they came out with this kind of Luddite, like, the iPads are bad and only go and play. It would just be a stupid message. It's 20 years too late and the film would just be ridiculous. So I do think in the end the idea that like her and her friend used the iPad, and I really liked that. They used the iPad to take pictures of themselves, but then they put the iPad down and then they run off and play. And I was like, that's a very nice message to me, that like, I just think it would be really unfair as well on a kid audience and a kid who has access to a device and uses it, to make the kid feel bad about themselves when they're watching the film.
Yeah, and there's also
Like,
risk.
it's very complex, which is again why I think this film isn't very fun or funny, because it's quite a lot to tackle.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite serious, you know what I mean?
But also, I mean, like, okay, so let's park that for a sec. Because for me, it didn't go hard enough. But that's again, I am more of a hardliner Luddite at this stage, and I say bring tech down and burn it all to hell.
If we could exist in a world tomorrow where no kid has access to any technology, I choose that word.
So that's my position.
But that's not
so
the world
I
we
felt,
live in.
I know,
but
no,
Dave,
I
but also when we're on a plane, we want our kids to watch an iPad.
Yeah.
So like, do you know what I mean? It has
I
to
get
coexist with reality.
No, I get it. I'm describing what I wanted the film to take.
Sure.
Take a clear moral stance.
But it did take
And
a
it
moral
didn't-
stance.
No,
though.
listen.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that that is a balanced perspective, that the film and a more pragmatic and
But
realistic.
it makes for boring. Like, it's boring.
But like I'm telling you, that's not what I wanted, and it felt muddled
You
to
wanted,
me.
and
So-
you wanted Andy to come back as an adult and light a bonfire, and every character from every film comes back and they just burn all the
Yeah, and I want
technology
them
in
to
the
say,
world.
I want them to literally like call out that the billionaires behind Eggman technology or whatever it was, like are causing active harm at this stage.
Well, Dave,
Like,
do you remember when there was a message about billionaires in tech and Devil Wears Prada, and you shat all over that film?
That's because that was. Oh, don't open that Pandora's box.
I'm just
anyway,
saying it's not inherently interesting.
all of that, yeah, like, all of that aside, I feel like Toys. It did the absolute best it could with this topic and made it accessible. And as you could say, kudos to that. But all that aside,
The rest of it was
the
boring.
film was boring. It was a
Yeah.
little boring. I'm like,
Yeah.
like it tried to manufacture, Jesse's emotional arc of like.
I was like, I don't
She
remember the
can't
films
handle
enough,
a
but
ben-
I've seen this. I was like, I've seen this Jesse
So I was
plot
about to say,
before.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
Like, it's Jesse's fear of rejection and abandonment from yet another child, and there's something in that with PTSD maybe, and like, but I feel like we've been here. Toy Story 3 did this.
I feel like we nearly
And-
could have had a new kid. Like, if you're saying this kid has been there since Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, we could have done with maybe a fresh kid to just.
No, I like Bonnie, and
I
I was,
like her,
and
but
it's
like-
only the only area I was invested in this movie was I want Bonnie to make a friend and make
Oh,
real
yeah.
connection,
Yeah.
and the mission to connect her with Blaze was nice. I was invested in that.
I
But
like
the
that.
new characters of Smarty Pants, voiced by Conan O'Brien, who I love, I thought was disappointing. I didn't think it was particularly interesting, or the Hippo GPS.
I
and
liked
the
that actually, the old tech.
Old
kind of
tech, yeah.
But again, there was like 3 new characters introduced there, and it's just a bit like, I'd say the kids didn't know what was going on. Like, if I actually asked the kids like about each character, I don't know if they knew what was going on. And there was like a very long chase scene that I found quite dull. But I'm also like, do you know what? We're not the audience for it. Like, we're a bit old. Like, the kids enjoyed it more than we did. Again, we would have first watched Toy Stories when we were much younger as well, and you're talking about the magic, and maybe a kid will watch this or someone else will watch this, and this is their magical Toy Story.
Maybe. Would
like,
love
people
to
can
hear-
have different senses of ownership over different films
Yeah,
and stuff.
would love to hear everyone's
Yeah,
perspective
would love to
on this.
hear.
Message us.
And like this, we're still giving this like a middling review. We're not in any way
Yeah,
saying
it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad. It's just disappointing when Toy Story
I
has had
know.
such a high bar. I feel like this feels like very, very flat, low level Pixar to me. This
Yeah.
feels like a
It's part of the
sequel.
Is it part of the Disneyfication of Pixar though, that Pixar's just become a bit flatter anyway? Like, when you think about what WALL-E did in terms of technology and people staring at screens all day, that went way harder.
Exactly, and also exactly right.
Yeah.
And this is from the same. Andrew Stanton wrote and directed this with somebody else whose name I don't have to hand. But he's from peak Pixar, right?
Yeah.
He did WALL-E and
But I guess to be handed
Finding Nemo and
to be handed Toy Story is like being handed the keys to the castle.
Yeah, but I
and
f- I
also
just
like
feel
those
like-
directors who get brought in to do Star Wars or any of those films, and they say everything ends up getting watered down because the franchise is too big.
I feel like it's just
them to let
tired.
you-
Yeah,
yeah.
this is the year where we're seeing the franchises like Star Wars and Toy Story and all these old things are starting to creak and burst at the seams.
Well, look, The Mandalorian was wiped by 2 unknown horror directors, but like we discussed already, we weren't even bothered going to see The Mandalorian because we couldn't bring the kids because it was the 12s and it didn't appeal to us without the kids.
No, this film will be commercially successful, and I'd say people will be quite satisfied
and
with
I'm
it.
happy with the conversation it's going to like inspire in families.
Agreed.
Especially in the week of the smartphone, you know, the social media ban being announced in the UK and all that. So I think it's really timely. I'm glad we saw it. We need to stop now, and finally I'm glad I got a little
Hoppers was
napping.
better.
Glad I got a napping.
Hoppers was much better. And watch that instead.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Nice poncho.
It's good to see them fighting again.
It sure is.